So let's just take a look at this. During a post-game press conference, Thomas and the team's coach, Stephanie White, spoke about Fever fans making racist and homophobic comments about other players on social media throughout the entire women's basketball season. Quote, "It's been a lot of nonsense. I think that in my 11-year career, I never experienced the racial comments like from the Indiana Fever fan base. It's unacceptable, and honestly, there's no place for it. We've been professional throughout the whole entire thing, but I've never been called the things that I've been called on social media, and there's no place for it. Basketball is headed in a great direction, but we don't want fans that are going to degrade us and call us racial things." Fever head coach Christy Sides echoed that her players have also received a lot of hurtful messages online. Quote, "It's unacceptable for any of these guys." The WNBA stated this: "The WNBA is a competitive league with some of the most elite athletes in the world. While we welcome a growing fan base, the WNBA will not tolerate racist, derogatory, or threatening comments made about players, teams, or anyone affiliated with the league. Security is actively monitoring threat-related activities and will work directly with teams and arenas to make appropriate measures to include involving law enforcement as necessary." So you have this man right here that stated this, right? Dude, focus on what was said. This is a response to what somebody else wrote. Dude, focus on what was said. The Carrington, a white person, called her the N-word and stated that they hope that she gets essayed, aka R-word. You good with that? That was Caitlin Clark fan who said that. And these are some of the responses. "You're going to make Clark retire early due to league shenanigans. Running her out of town. She's getting hit hard with no fouls being called. Once she walks, the WNBA will go back to being a ghost town." Another person, "Not all black people are racist. That's what is called a sweeping generalization. But there have been a lot of black people and players savagely attacking Clark. There have been a lot of black WNBA thugs who took cheap shots at Clark on the court. Clean up your own backyard first. Last but not least, it is not the league's job to protect players from stuff online. Players can grow thicker skin or do what Caitlin Clark did. Stay off social media. I imagine she received 100% more trolls than the other players in the league." So as you can clearly see, the true supporters out there, right? The true Americans wanted to get away from what specifically actually took place. You're able to see the video footage and the fact of the article stating that Caitlin Clark got somebody thrown directly off because they wanted to hurl these racist and or homophobic comments directly at players on the court. And you have a lot of them wanting to skip over the fact that this took place and it happened by way of a Caucasian male. And they want to focus on the fact that, oh, Caitlin Clark, nobody's calling these fouls. She's getting treated horrendously. She is the league. She formed and made the WNBA. But yet everything that Caitlin Clark is going through at this moment in time, people bad-mouthing, talking about her getting fouled horrendously. Look at Jordan. Jordan was getting fouled horrendously. Kobe got fouled horrendously. Steve Nash got fouled horrendously. Like, you can go through a variety of the men in the NBA and you can spot out where dudes were just getting fouled hard. I'm talking about pulled out of the air. They were getting body slammed. They were getting Chi-Town elbows. They were getting kicked while they were on the ground or standing. Again, but you don't see these same people wanting to get up in arms about this. Because again, a lot of those players, when that happens, it's by way of other players that look like them. But here, they're like, oh no, this is the great white hope, Caitlin Clark, and she's just getting mistreated because of the complexion of her skin and because she's the best player there and da-da-da-da. Like I said before, it's crazy. If these people actually cared about fouls and they wanted rules and regulations to change, you would have been stated and said all of this in the NBA. But you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And then if you really want to see some people And I'm going to list another sport. If you really want to see some people get checked, you want to see people get just straight brouhaha, look at some hockey. People are just fighting directly on the ice with blades. Those are literally weapons on their feet. Literally the sharpest things there. Knives on their feet, and they're sitting up here grabbing each other's jersey, just punching each other in the face, back and forth. Like I said, it's crazy. And also want to point out, this is a terminology from about 10 plus years of usage where they want to refer to and call black players or black people thugs. That has a meaning within itself. And it's funny seeing people still use that. You can tell what era and also how old they are when they want to cover up their racism and say certain things directly online. It's insane.
May I ask where are you from?
I'm from South Sudan.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I'm African, but honestly, I like Americanized African men. He's just a little too African. Not in any insulting way, honestly.
I'm not, if you know me. You'd be surprised.
That's acceptable.
Not at all.
So what made you say he's too African?
I think the strong facial features, yeah.
Okay. Okay. And which part of Africa are you from?
I'm half Kenyan, half Ghanaian, so I'm like East and West.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No problem.
So let me get this straight. Hold on. They said that the woman there is from both sides of the continent, East and West. So she is full-blooded. She is just full-blooded African. And she turned down this Sudanese man because he's too African. I have a feeling at this moment in time that whenever it is that a lot of Africans and many others happen to talk about black Americans, quote unquote, not liking them or wanting to insult them or look at them a certain type of way, I feel like they're getting a lot of this quote unquote hatred from their own people that have been here, that have established themselves, that have become Americanized. There needs to be a differentiation between black Americans born and raised in the United States versus other people who come directly over. Again, I'm a little bit confused. You're literally from the continent. Your bloodline is directly from the continent. So why would you want a man that is of Africa but Americanized? That doesn't make any sense. And then you talked about his facial features were basically too African. Huh? What? I've never seen this before. I've never heard of any type of foolishness such as this. Like I said before, I love shows like this because it just lets people see into the mind frame and into a lot of the conversations that are talked about in private, along with some of the things that both black men and African men have been told directly to their face. Because the main thing is this, that whenever a black American male happens to state his experiences online, it's listed as hate. Whenever black men want to basically say, like, I was treated this way, I was talked about this way, I was looked at in this certain type of way that was negative or derogatory, what have you, it's seen as hate. And again, I'm pretty sure, even though I feel as though what was stated to this man was a form of self-hatred, people are not going to call it out for that. They're not going to call it out for that. But I promise you this, though. Let this Sudanese man, because of the comment, the crazy comment that she made, let him one day walk down the street with a woman of a clear-cut different race. Watch how the comments would fly and say that he hates his African heritage, he hates this and he hates that, and it's going to be a lot of nonsense. But nobody's going to pay attention to the fact that she said that his facial features are too African, even though she's full-blooded African. It's crazy. You cannot make any of this stuff up.